The Shang Dynasty and Oracle Bones, China's first written dynasty. Before there was paper, before there were scrolls, and long before anyone shouted "print it," there were bones. Yes, bones. Welcome to the Shang Dynasty, where divination met documentation, and China stepped firmly into the age of recorded history. This wasn't just a dynasty, it was a turning point, a moment when humans decided that their thoughts, questions, and royal drama deserved to be carved into the backs of turtles. Let's rewind. The Shang Dynasty ruled from around 1600 BCE to 1046 BCE. That's over 3,000 years ago, when the Bronze Age was still hot, literally, and kings ruled with divine mandates, massive bronze axes, and a little help from the spirit world. But how do we know all this? How do we peek into the minds of people who lived millennia ago? Simple. We read their fortune-telling notes. Enter Oracle Bones. These were not just random animal remains. They were sacred tools, usually ox shoulder blades or turtle plastrons, used by Shang diviners to ask the spirits questions. And no, they weren't asking about lottery numbers. They asked things like, will the harvest be good this year? Should we attack the neighboring tribe? Is the queen going to have a baby? Why did it rain on a Tuesday? The king or diviner would carve the question into the bone, heat it until it cracked, and then interpret the cracks as answers from the gods or ancestors. The response was sometimes carved in too, like a cosmic Q&A etched in bone. And just like that, writing was born. Not poetry, not law codes, but spiritual FAQs. These early characters, called Jia Guwen, are the earliest known form of Chinese writing. And here's the wild part. They're still recognizable. If you squint at a modern Chinese character and compare it to the ones on a cracked bone from 1200 BCE, you'll see the resemblance. That's continuity. That's legacy. That's cultural long game. But the Shang Dynasty wasn't just about mystical bone chats. They were also masters of bronze work, casting elaborate ritual vessels that looked more like alien artifacts than kitchenware. These weren't just for show. They were used in ancestor worship, an essential part of Shang religion and politics. Because in Shang China, dead relatives didn't just rest in peace. They gave advice, made demands, and probably judged your outfit choices. The Shang kings ruled from Yin, their capital, which archaeologists believe was located near modern-day Anyang. And thanks to extensive excavations, we found thousands of oracle bones, bronzes, weapons, chariots, and even royal tombs. One of the most famous belonged to Fu Hao, a queen, military general, and high priestess all in one. Her tomb held hundreds of weapons, jade carvings, and 16 sacrificial victims. She was clearly not someone you wanted to disappoint. Now, let's talk about politics. The Shang Dynasty was a monarchy, but not exactly democratic. Power passed down family lines, supported by a strict hierarchy of nobles, warriors, artisans, and farmers. The king was seen as the link between heaven and earth. He didn't just rule, he communicated with the divine. And the more elaborate your rituals, the more heavenly support you supposedly had. But as always in history, nothing lasts forever. Around 1046 BCE, the Zhou people had had enough. They launched a rebellion, defeated the Shang in the Battle of Muya, and claimed the mandate of heaven for themselves. The last Shang king, Dixin, allegedly burned his palace down and leapt into the flames. Dramatic exit, 1010. But despite their fall, the Shang left something more lasting than palaces. They gave China its first written records, a system of writing that would evolve, but never truly break. And with it, they gave future generations the power to record, reflect, and remember. So the next time you see a Chinese character, remember, you're looking at the descendant of a question once carved into a bone, a question whispered into fire, cracked into prophecy, and preserved for eternity. The Shang Dynasty may have vanished, but their words still burning.